everybody. It is Sunday, June 22nd, and I'm just hopping on here to look ahead for the next week. But what a day yesterday was. Oh my goodness. So let's just hop right in. Looking at the charts on the left, I've set it for Saturday, June 21st, which is yesterday morning. The reason I wanted to do that was because yesterday was a big day. If you're watching the news at all, the United States entered into the, attacking Iran, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know details, but that's kind of a big deal as far as I can tell. So, just looking at this was the end of last week, right? Sunday is the first day of the week according to my brain. So this was yesterday. I might have said it last week, but there's a lot of fiery energy. Even in my monthly forecast for June, I actually just reread it, and I did kind of intimate that the Mars K2 in Leo is quite fiery and aggressive even. So that's a lot of fire energy. The chart you can see here is from 7 a.m. in Washington yesterday, so I'm just starting each of these days after sunrise. So Gemini was rising when yesterday started in Washington, D.C., and by the time the attack happened, Scorpio was rising in Washington. So I was thinking maybe even to do a little video just about that, but the other part of the whole thing is that with Scorpio rising, Mars and K2, rulers of Scorpio, are in the 10th house. It looks quite aggressive. And the other thing is that if you look at the upper row of the square on top, Moon and Venus are in the sign of Aries yesterday. Venus is still there. Aries is a fire sign, very masculine fire sign. Both Venus and the Moon are watery and feminine energy. So those two planets kind of captivated in a fiery sign ruled by Mars, with then Mars in a fiery sign ruled by the Sun, and then the Sun up in another active masculine sign of Gemini with Jupiter and Mercury. It kind of all added up to an explosive day. So that said, see what happens. Now I'm going to click us forward to Sunday. So this is Sunday. The moon, you can see, jumped ahead. Everybody's still in place. So that's today. Okay. Similar to yesterday, but if we click to tomorrow morning, you can see that both Moon and Mercury move during today, Sunday. So on Monday, the Moon goes to Taurus, will be in Taurus. Actually, it moves today on Sunday. And then Monday, it will be in Taurus. And Mercury, you can see there, has jumped from Gemini into Cancer. So that shifts some things today, Sunday. So Moon and Mercury both moving. Moon going into Taurus is lovely, but let's keep track of the fact that Moon is waning right now. Moon is exalted in Taurus. That means it does good work there. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet we want for negotiations and diplomacy and putting out fires. And when Venus is in Aries, gets a little aggressive and hot and fiery. So let's look for Venus moving to Taurus a little bit later this week. All right, so Moon, Mercury have both moved. Mercury goes to Cancer for a while. We're going to have a retrograde cycle for Mercury starting in mid-July. So Mercury being in Cancer, he's not super excited. However, maybe it slows things down a little bit for all of us. We have Saturn and Mercury both going to be in watery signs. They don't necessarily love watery signs, but maybe we do need to be slowed down a little bit right now. The other thing I want to point out before I leave this particular Monday, if you look over at the RA in Aquarius, that's Rahu. And then looking at the top chart, okay, because we're going to go clockwise around. North Indian people, you're just going to have to reverse my directions. So starting at Rahu, you can see that there is a chain of planets all on one side of the nodal axis. So Rahu and Ketu are always opposite. You can notice how their numbers are exactly the same. And then all of the planets are bound in on one side of that axis. That's a thing. It's called, there's Kala Sarpa Yoga or Kala Amrita Yoga. It's not a classical yoga, but it's really interesting in my book, because to have all of the planets on one side of that nodal axis does seem to bring some dramatic effects. So here we are. Mars will be the first one to move past that Ketu. You can see Mars is at 9 degrees, Ketu's at 27. So by the end of July, Mars will push through and leave Leo, breaking that particular thing. But today and tomorrow, we also have that something called Graha Malika Yoga. Graha Malika. Graha means planets, and Malika means necklace, so garland. So it's a chain. So you can start from Rahu and go to Saturn and Venus and then Moon, Sun, Jupiter. But as soon as Moon jumps out of Taurus, that's going to break until next month when Moon comes back. So it's just a really interesting couple days, Sunday and Monday, and into Tuesday, with the Moon creating this chain of events. I think we'll get more, whatever's happening in your particular life, it could be a reflection of the bigger picture of things, but Sunday and Monday could really feel like, wow, things are really moving. I'm not sure if I want to go this way. And with Moon sliding into Gemini, I'll move our thing ahead here. Okay, so now this is Tuesday. So at the beginning of Tuesday, we're still going to have Moon in Taurus, and then it's going to move. Okay, I'm going to slide us over to Wednesday. Okay, so this is Wednesday. We have a new moon, and you can see now there's a gap in our chain. So I wonder, just seems like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is very pivotal here for you, for the world. And remember that when the moon is waning, like it is right now, you can feel mentally and physically tired. It reflects, our water, we are water, and the moon represents the water. It changes the tides. I mean, you also react to that. So when the moon is new and waning, we can feel a little bit tired. So if that's happening for you, that could be why. You can push yourself, or you could take care of yourself, your choice. So this is a Wednesday, new moon. It's going to happen in the wee hours of Wednesday morning. And by this time, you can also look at the upper corner. We've got Jupiter and Sun and Moon all together there in Gemini on Wednesday, Thursday, partly Friday. The other thing is that I've been feeling this last week is the combustion of Jupiter. It does feel like something is there. It's hard to reach that positivity. It feels overwhelmingly bright and sunny and masculine. I don't know what else to say out there with all of the planets and the fire signs, Venus and Mars and Ketu, and then Jupiter, Moon, and Sun all in Gemini. Yeah, it feels like a lot. So by the end of this week, the Sun will have moved over Jupiter's degree and is moving on, for better or worse. So this is Wednesday, new moon. And this is Thursday morning. The moon is at the very end of Gemini. It'll be waxing by this point already. And it might feel busy, I would say, on Thursday and Friday, with the moon moving from Gemini, where it's got Jupiter and the Sun, and it's just starting to wax, and then it's going to go into its own sign on Thursday. By Friday morning, the moon and Mercury are right next to each other, and the moon's happy in Cancer, so that's good. But the moon and Mercury together can be a little bit thought-provoking. The moon is emotional, and Mercury is rational and overthinks. So again, I even said it last week. It seems like we have an intense week coming up. I feel the same way with this upcoming week. So keep it cool. All right, this is Saturday. So we're at next week. So the moon and Mercury still together, Mars and Ketu still together, Jupiter, Sun still together. And look at Venus up there at 29 degrees 2. So this is the day that Venus will be shifting over to Taurus. So by next Sunday, when I talk to you, Venus will be in Taurus. So again, the chain's broken. We aren't going to have that Graha Malika thing again for a while. And actually next month, it could be when the moon is in Aries. It could form again. So let's see. But I would say those times when we have the Graha Malika happening, when we have the Kala Sarpa, Kala Amrita thing happening, it really can feel like things are moving fast and maybe not in the way you want them to move. So, sit back, observe, and try to do your best. We can't always control the world, as you know. And those times when Kala Sarpa or Kala Amrita Yoga form tend to be very potent times for personally and for, collectively. Anywho, all right, that's what I've got to say. If any of you wants for me to read your chart on an individual basis and tell you what I think, you can find my website and sign up for a reading. Otherwise, have a great week and take care of yourself. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.